has never.
Due to contractual obligations, we must leave this program to bring you the following event. The heart of your teams. The heart of Atlanta. Valley Sports South and Valley Sports Southeast. The heart of the fan.
Park in Houston, Texas, the site of Game 1 of the 2021 World Series, and the Braves broke it open with a bang early and some excitement late. Atlanta takes Game 1 of this best-of-7 series following the formula that got them through Milwaukee. The Dodgers are now through Game 1 against the American League champion Astros. The game was close for about 5 pitches, and then the Braves took care of business. They did their job at Minute Maid Park. They have stolen home field advantage as we welcome you to Braves Live postseason edition presented by Xfinity. We join you from the Battery, Atlanta tonight. And good morning, everybody. I'm Chip Carey along with Nick Reed, Peter Moylan, Brian Jordan. 22 years to the day, because it is after midnight, fellas, was the last time the Braves played in a World Series game. This outcome, a lot happier. The Braves a 4-1 loss back in '99 in the final game against the Yankees. Tonight, they win by 4 and take Game 1.
Now, I didn't play in that game. I know somebody that might have played in that game. But this feels really good because you wanted to win at least one game in Houston. To come out and swing the bats the way they did early on in the game was great to see. I thought the at-bats, the approach were really good against Framber Valdez, who was a really good pitcher. I love the way they added on late in the game. But overall, I love this game in general, the way they played. I felt like the Charlie Morton injury might be something they can build off of and come together as a team. It's unfortunate, Peter, but they have to overcome adversity one more time.
Look, it's a good thing that this team is basically like the Hulk. It doesn't matter what you hit them with, they're going to get stronger. So this Charlie Morton injury, yes, it's going to punch him in the mouth a little bit, but they've got the guys to recover. They've got the guys to pick it up. I think it's going to make the end of the series very interesting, but hopefully we can get it done before the end of the series comes.
Resilient. They've been that all year long, and welcome back, Jorge Soler at that leadoff spot. I mean, he really got it done. He set the tone for the game, and then Charlie Morton went out there. Yeah, we hate to see that injury happen, but it was great to see guys pick him up. And sometimes an injury like that can motivate guys because now I think you got that extra chip on your shoulder to win for Charlie Morton.
Well, one thing is for sure, the Braves know how to handle injuries. They've dealt with them all year, and unbelievably, they are in the World Series with a 1-0 lead. And as we look at our forward keys tonight, guys, it was offense early. The Braves set a record. Jorge Soler made history, and the offense in the first 3 innings made history.
You know, before he got to this at bat, we said, should he lead off? Is his timing right? Well, he goes yah to show us that he is ready to play on the big stage. That really set the tone to the ball game. And then how about this? You knew good things were going to happen when Ozzie Albies gets a single right here. And, man, I was saying it's going to be all night. Ozzie steals on a left-hand
Gets everybody a taco.
Which really...
Gets everybody a taco with that stolen base.
And then
Austin Riley's a guy that really struggled in the LCS. Hopefully that at-bat right there, that base hit in a 3-0 count, really gets him into the space that we've seen him in throughout the course of the season. In third inning, the Braves continue to. They scored 1 in the second on 3 hits. This dude, Peter, you can't get him out.
You can't get him out. It doesn't matter what you try and throw to him. And I guess this is what happens when you're locked in. I've only seen it as a pitcher. I've only felt it as a pitcher. But, BJ, you can tell me. And look at Duval. We were talking before the game. We just need Duval to be what he was in the regular season, come up with a big home run sometime throughout this series, and he comes up in the first game and gets that done. So thank you, Adam, for listening to us in the conference room up there. We really appreciate that. It makes our jobs much easier.
Yeah, so in a blink of an eye, Charlie Morton had a 5-0 lead, and you figured with Charlie Morton on the mound, big game pitcher, big post-game pitcher, pitching on a mound he's he's very familiar with, things were going to look very good for him. Shaky start, and boy, what a disappointing loss. A ground ball hits him on the ankle, and then with a broken leg, he continues on in the game.
So I didn't think it was that big a deal when I saw Charlie get hit in the ankle, but you see what he was doing to start the game. Got in a bit of trouble there in the first inning. Great play here by Ozzy. That is actually an unbelievable play. Nick, you can talk to how hard that play is. But then Charlie was rolling. He goes through the top of the lineup again, gets Altuve again, and then all of a sudden he starts slipping. So there was a period there where he took a ball off the shin, and as I said, he was running to first base, so I didn't think anything of it. I thought, okay, maybe it was just a bruise. Now all of a sudden he's twisting on that leg, and we see the x-rays prove that it's a broken fibula.
Bob Gibson in 1967 got hit on a line drive from Roberto Clemente, got 3 more outs. Charlie Morton got hit on a comebacker tonight, pitched with a broken leg, and got 3 more outs. Yes, Charlie Morton was Bob Gibson tough tonight.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating too, right? Because he started to find his groove, and here it is.
It
the
looked
ball
like a nothing
off the leg. I just assume it's going to be a bruise. He's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he pitches through it. He's a grinder. We know that. He's tough as nails, and that pitch right there got him.
I really hate to think what happened, and I don't want to let my brain think as to what may have happened on that twisting action, but obviously he's in a lot of pain right there. Charlie Morton, to be able to get through what he did with a fractured leg, shows the kind of heart that he has, shows the kind of big game guy, and shows him what kind of ticker he has to get him through those big moments in those big games. It's going to be a big loss, but as I said earlier, we do have the arms, we do have the guys, we do have the bodies out there to cover Charlie Morton, and we're going to have to find them.
And Max Fried's going tomorrow night. And with that in mind, how do the Braves now stack up this rotation? Because on paper, it looked like the Braves were set up a little better than the Astros, who are without Lance McCullers Jr. Now that advantage, at least on paper again, appears to be a draw because both aces are out for the rest of the World Series.
Well, how much pressure does that put on Max Fried tomorrow, and how much pressure does that put on Ian Anderson in Game 3? I feel like that situation is going to be a difficult one for the Braves to navigate. You're going to have a bullpen day in Game 4, more than likely. Game 5 would be Morton's start, so then you've got to figure something out there. I don't want to look that far in advance right now. They won Game 1. Max Fried is on the mound in Game 2. If Max can lay the hammer down in Game 2, give you 6-7 innings, get that win, then you worry about the rest, you piece it together at that time.
Well, Nick, I wouldn't say it's pressure. You know, Max Fried definitely wants to be on the mound after his last start. He wants to prove to everybody that he has been the leader in the second half of this season for the Atlanta Braves to get him here. So I expect Max Fried to go at least 6 innings tomorrow because he's going to have to go deep into the ball game really to save the relievers. A.J. Minter goes 2 1/3 innings today. You got Matzik going 4 batters. So that bullpen is taxed a little bit with the quality guys that we know comes in late in the game.
But they had a couple of days off, Peter. They've got a day off coming after Game 2 of this series, and A.J. Minter was indeed the man that won the game tonight. He's the guy that followed Charlie Morton and set the tone for the rest of the relievers in Game 1.
Exactly right, and we've come to expect this from A.J. Minter in the playoffs, I guess, but he just takes it to another level when he gets on this stage. He's so fired up, but somehow is able to stay within himself and still make pitches when he has to. His 2 1/3 innings tonight were unbelievable. Even makes an athletic play, which pitchers aren't supposed to do. Obviously, we're told to get out of the way, but I want to touch back a little bit on what you were saying. We would be in so much more pressure had we not just gone 1-0 in this series.
Right.
But we may have lost the advantage with the starting pitching, but we do now have home field advantage moving forward through the rest of the series. So I think you got to look at this thing as yes, it's a kick in the mouth, obviously, but we were able to go against the odds tonight and pull out a victory in Houston against a very good team. And we've used our relievers, but I tell you what, they have been throwing at a level of the last month and a half that I don't think anything phases them right now. I don't think multiple innings phase them. They know this is the business end of the season. There's no tomorrow.
Well, it's a magical run for A.J. Minter in postseason play. We know what he did last year against the Dodgers. We know what he's done in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and we saw what he did tonight back in Texas against the Houston Astros. A.J. Minter, the winning pitcher for the Braves in Game 1, and he's standing by with Kelly Krall down at Minute Maid Park.
Well, A.J., you're called on in that 3rd inning, and I know for you guys in the bullpen, it's very routine-oriented, but when you step out on that mound, especially given what you just saw with Charlie, what's your mindset? How do you gain your composure and just start?
It happened so quick, so I didn't really have time to, process it, and I feel like it helped me out. Losing Charlie right there Obviously, game one, it hurts, but I mean, if you've been watching us, it isn't going to phase us. Next man up, and that's our mentality. And I knew I had to come in and cover many innings as I possibly could. So I wanted to be efficient, throw strikes, and I felt like I threw too many strikes during some at bats, but luckily, it all worked out.
In a moment like that, you are pitching in the World Series in your home state. No, you're shaking your head. You didn't even think about it. Didn't go there.
It did. If you would have asked me this, back in June when I was in AAA, and that I would be here, game one of the World Series, it would be very, very hard to believe. But that's the thing. I feel like this team, we always deep down believe that we could be here, and I just wanted to help this team out as much as I could, and like I said, it all worked out.
I feel like you're emotional right now. Are you choking back a little bit?
I mean, for sure. I mean, this is everything you don't even dream about. You fantasize about, being here, especially back here in Texas where I grew up. I mean, words can't describe it.
How do you summarize 43 pitches, a career high, and getting done the 8 big outs that this team needed so desperately?
I wanted to keep going back out for another inning.
I knew that was coming. You told Skip you were ready to start, a year ago?
Yep, I've been begging for past 2 seasons now. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to cover many innings that could and help this bullpen out, because it's going to be a tough series. I mean, that's a good ball team over there, and I'm just so glad we got off on the right foot.
Well, AJ, congratulations on the win tonight and such a great performance. Enjoy this one, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
BJ, nothing like a win in your first World Series appearance, and you do it with a career-high 43 pitches. That was the line for AJ Minter tonight.
And you do it at home for him.
Yeah.
He's from Texas. To come home, all the family and friends out there watching, and he delivered. No pressure at all. I know as a reliever, you're sitting down there in that bullpen saying, Charlie Morton is going great, and all of a sudden your number is called. A young pitcher would normally panic, but this guy has been on fire all through the playoffs. He accepted the challenge, and he threw a lot of strikes, like he said, and that's the A.J. Minter that we saw a couple of years ago dominate.
He says a young pitcher might panic. I tell you right now, if that was me, I would be sweating bullets if the second inning comes around and I'm running in from the outfield. That's not my role.
Well,
that's a scary job.
This is an Astros team that is awfully tough to strike out. 10 or more strikeouts only 34 times in regular season play. Tonight, in Game 1 of the World Series, the Braves pitching staff struck out 11 men. That is an excellent start for this Braves pitching staff. Jorge Soler, speaking of excellent starts, early in the count, a line drive homer into the Crawford boxes at Minute Maid Park. In the blink of an eye, the Braves scored the game's first run, and Soler made some history too, as the big crowd at the Battery loved the outcome of Game 1 of the 2021 World Series tonight. Braves Live is brought to you by Landmark Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, by Xfinity XFi. Experience a powerful and secure Wi-Fi connection for all of your devices, and by Georgia Natural Gas. Go green and save some too with G&G. Astros fans are green with envy tonight. Braves beat them in Game 1 of the World Series. 1 down, 3 to go for a World Championship. Final score at Minute Maid Park, Atlanta 6, Houston 2. Jorge Soler and Adam Duvall each hit homers in Game 1 for Atlanta, and Adam is standing by with Kelly.
Well, Adam, you guys couldn't have asked for a better start. Let's flip forward to the 3rd inning, and you watch Rosario single. You step up to the plate. Just walk me through that second time around against Valdez and any adjustments you made.
Yeah, I just look for him up in the zone because he's got stuff that moves straight down. So, he picked off twice there. Then he went change up, and I was able to see that change up enough out of his hand to where I could put a good swing on it. It probably ended up down in the zone, but it was up enough.
Was that like a childhood dream come true in a World Series, watching your ball go out of the park?
Yeah. I was hoping it had enough airtime to get out of here. I knew I hit it hard enough, but high enough was the question. But yeah, I mean, obviously as a kid you dream about that, and running around the bases, I soaked it up.
So I got one for you. A lot of talk about how potent this Astros offense is. What do you think you guys said about yours tonight?
We put some barrels on some balls, and got some timely hits, and that's what this game's about. So we got to keep it up.
Last but certainly not least, I know this team, as you do, has overcome adversity all season long. Charlie Morton, how do you process that and rebound once again?
Yeah, just to see him come off the mound was, kind of heartbreaking there. Because, he's a gamer. He wasn't going to come off there if he could go any longer. So, I'm looking forward to getting in there and see what see how he's feeling and just let him know that we've all got his back.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win. We appreciate your time, Adam.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Guys.
Thanks, Kelly. Against all odds, this Braves team has found a way all year long in 2021, and I think Kelly put an excellent exclamation point on what Adam Duvall and this offense did. That's one of the subplots of this series. Can the Braves go toe-to-toe with this Astros offense, which is a very good one of 4 teams with more hits than strikeouts in the major leagues this year? Well, that question was answered very favorably, Nick, in Game 1.
Well, if you have good pitching, which the Braves have had throughout the postseason, then you have a chance to do big things. But this offense is so good up and down the lineup. Everybody in the lineup today had a hit. When you look at guys scoring runs, the contributions were down towards the bottom of the order. That's what you want to see. Then all of a sudden you see the guys at the top start to come around and swing the bats really well. Then you have 1 through 9 with the DH, and they can swing the bats as well, if not better, in my opinion, than Houston. But Houston's a great offense, so if you can continue to get good pitching, then you'll be fine in this series.
Yeah, you get to have the DH. That's a huge advantage, I think, for National League clubs. And right now you have the hottest hitter in professional baseball, Eddie Rosario. Guys, nobody can get this guy out. It's amazing, BJ.
He's been unbelievable, but he's that old-fashioned type hitter. His hands are nice and loose. He's not trying to do too much, and he's trying to hit the ball where you pitch it. And that's why he is so successful. You throw it away, he's going the other way, as you see right here. Fastball in the outer half, he hits a double down the left field line. But if you come inside, he will take you deep. He is a complete hitter in my eyes, and he continues to see the ball well during the playoffs and play huge in the big moments. And how about his defense right here? Playing the ball off the wall, knowing he had an opportunity to throw him out at second. That was a huge play in the ball game. Great defense, great offense, Eddie Rosario.
Helping out your reliever as well right there. Get him out of an inning, potentially big inning. Unbelievable play by him. Throws the guns back in the pocket. He's feeling it right now. Why wouldn't you be feeling it the way he's playing right now, though?
One thing that I like that I'm seeing from him on the offensive side is the fact he knows the situation. He understands what the pitcher's trying to do to him. So if they're going to go away, he understands that's where they're going to go in that situation, and he just slaps it the other way. He's not afraid to do that. If you want to go cutter in like Kenley Jansen, he knows where you're going to go. He knows where your tendency is, and he's able to cheat a little bit. But he's able to cover both sides of the plate. If you can't cover both sides of the plate, which most people can't, you're not going to be hitting over 500 over the last 6, 7, 8 games. So I love what he's done as far as his approach, his game plan, and the execution as well.
Well, it was all working for the Braves offensively. Early, middle, late, 6 runs on 12 hits. That's a problem that Dusty Baker, the Astros manager, has to solve. Let's get his impressions of what he saw from the Braves in their Game 1 win of the 2021 World Series tonight.
In that first inning, we had bases loaded. Albie's made a great play because that ball gets through. It's 2-2. There are runners on the corner, and who knows, what would have happened. But, that was an example of defense, saving the day for them early. And then he might not have gotten settled in. And I heard that, he had a broken leg, which is, you don't wish bad on anybody. And I heard Charlie Morton's one of the best guys around, too. So we just got to wish him well. We didn't get many breaks tonight. They got 3 or 4 infield hits that end up, causing the pitch count, to go up. Our bullpen did a very good job. It's just that we couldn't get anything going offensively, which is rare where the opposing team out hits our team.
Dusty's right. The Braves bullpen, 6 2/3 inning, only 1 earned run out of the 2 they allowed in Game 1 tonight. So big crowd was here at the Battery. There will be a World Series watch party every game here outside Truist Park, home or road. We hope you will join us. Bring a chair, bring a blanket. It's going to be chilly, but that's what October baseball is all about. Braves take Game 1 in Houston. 6-2 is your final score. We will continue with Braves Live from the Battery Atlanta after another timeout. Braves Live is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. And by Visit Mississippi. Wanderers, welcome. Minute Maid Park got awfully quiet late in the game tonight. Braves take a 6-2 Game 1 win. Nick has a very encouraging stat to tell you about in just a moment as he joins Peter Moylan, Brian Jordan, yours truly, Chip Perry. What is that stat? The team that wins Game 1 does what?
I don't know if I want to say this because I don't want to jinx it.
Well, I teed you up. So
since 1995, the wild card era, the team that wins Game 1 wins this series 21 out of 26 times.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens. It's good news, though. That's good news.
Very good news. The other good news tonight is in a night that's, I guess, in many ways bittersweet. Yes, you win Game 1. You lose Charlie Morton until next spring training, and he is expected to be back and ready to go when the Braves convene down in Northport, Florida in 2022. But the real good news was when they needed him most, Peter, once again, the Braves bullpen stepped up and performed well.
Yeah, incredible job by everyone that came in, starting with Minter, who would have got ambushed from the start. Luke Jackson coming in here with a huge situation as well. His slider was obviously way better tonight. And what got Luke in trouble last time, and we discussed this up in the conference room a lot, was the non-competitive pitches that allowed him to, when he was in the zone, he would just, it would be the first thing that they'd see in the zone and they'd be able to hit it. Whereas tonight, that slider was going straight down. Madzik was still Madzik. I mean, just give the guy the ball and let him run away with it. He actually gave up a run tonight on a triple to Alvarez. I think we're going to start getting Alvarez and Brantley the Juan Soto treatment. But until that moment, Smith comes in and gets 2 ground balls. Could have been double plays that weren't. And then Brantley obviously rolls over to end the game. Ozzie makes the play there. But outstanding job by all those guys that came out there. And it's also great to get them into this game early on in the World Series. You don't know if that little gap between the Championship Series and the World Series would develop a little bit of rust. Clearly not with those guys tonight, and it actually helped Luke Jackson.
I think the most important thing tonight was getting Luke Jackson back out there early in this ball game because it's so important to get him back on the saddle where we saw him deliver all year long. Yeah, he had a couple bad outings, but his confidence is back. He showed it tonight, and I think that was the most important thing that happened tonight in that bullpen.
Yeah.
So I think Snick, everybody's feeling comfortable once again with Luke Jackson.
And Nick, they didn't have to pitch with a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead or down a run, try to protect these deficits or a lead with a big part of the lineup coming up for Houston because they jumped all over Framber Valdez, who pitched nothing like he did in their series-clinching victory against the Boston Red Sox the other day.
Yeah, he was incredible against Boston. He had 13 ground outs. The fastball velocity was up. He pitched up in the zone really well. But today, I like the way the Braves approached him, attacked him. They knew that sinker was going to be there, but you look for the pitch up, just like Soler. He might not be able to make those mistakes if he gets higher than high, but he wasn't higher than high. So you're looking at good counts, 3-0 for Riley, 1-0 count, 2-0 count against Soler, and you get the sinker up. That pitch right there, try to back up a changeup with another changeup. Duvall said it in his interview, I'm looking for something up in the zone. With Framber Valdez, his curveball is filthy. We actually saw that tonight. I thought he had a really good curveball, but they attacked the fastball. They got in good counts. If they got to 2 strikes, they battled with him, ran that pitch count up, and the offense did what they had to do to get him out of that game in 2+ innings.
Yeah, at one point, the Braves offense struck out 7 out of 10 hitters. By that time, the damage had been done. Atlanta already led 5-0. So a great start to this World Series for Brian Snitker's Braves. Yes, they lost Charlie Morton. I'm sure we'll hear from the Braves manager about that and how this Braves club continues to move forward in a season that has been marred by big injury after big injury. Let's find out. Brian's at the podium down at Minute Maid Park.
Brian, right here. Congratulations on the victory. 2 questions. One, can you just talk about what the emotions were like with your first World Series appearance, and obviously a very nice outcome? And then secondly,
yeah, no, it's good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I wondered before we got here what I'd feel like when the game started. I felt like it was a baseball game, and you kind of get so tunneled in to what you're doing that you forget where you're at. It's just it's another baseball game, really loud baseball game. But and then there's so much happened really quick that I didn't have a chance to do anything other than that. But it was nice. I'm glad, obviously we won the game.
And I wanted to ask you also, talk about what it means to get a 5-0 lead so quickly in a game like this.
No, it's good, but against this club here, it's I'd rather get a 5-0 lead after the 7th inning than when we did, because they have so much time to come back, and it's such a dangerous team, and that 5-0 feels like 1-0, quite honestly, to me, just because of the club they are, and they've been through these wars, and they're so dangerous, and they're so relentless, which makes it even more special and to me, and what our bullpen did.
I'll go right behind with Dave.
Snit, what can you say about Charlie, what this means to the team, and the fact that he was able to go out there and get 3 more outs after breaking a leg?
Well, no, it's I don't think he got 3 outs, did he? He did?
2 more innings and then Altuve in the next inning.
I was thinking the next inning. Sorry. But no, he was in there, and they did the X-rays, and he said, and we told Freddie, we told Austin that, you guys are going to have to make sure you're more aggressive or whatever. And, he wanted to keep going, because he was down in the tunnel, and he was thrown against the wall, and it said, it's just kind of hurts more when I run. I feel good when I throw. And then, obviously it didn't. Just the fact that he wanted to keep going. They were X-raying him, and that's Charlie. He wants to be on this stage, and God bless him. I hate it for him. Really hate it for him. He's such a great person and teammate, and I do. I really hate it for him, because I know he was really looking forward to this run with us, and so we'll move on.
I've got a Mark on the left.
With Soler and Duvall homering tonight, is that just a reminder of just how valuable those final hours and Alex's diligence, leading up to that trade deadline were?
Yeah, the play Eddie made off the wall on Gurriel's ball. All those guys, Jock, they all are. They complete our team. Those guys, and they've been big for us since they got here, and they're continuing to be every day.
Gabriel on the left.
Snit, AJ Minter was so big for you guys against the Dodgers. How important was that, what he was able to do?
That was huge what AJ pulled down. He did it for us last year in the NLCS. But that tonight was really, really good. He was good. He was well rested. And he pulled down some really, really big innings for us to kind of, went to him earlier than we normally would. But like I said earlier today, you do things differently here in this arena, I think. And AJ's he's been so good this post. Just not him, all the bullpen. But that was huge tonight, what he did, how he stretched the game to get us to those other guys.
Stay there with Steve.
Yeah, Brian, you've kind of become used to answering questions about untimely injuries this season and how the team responds. How do you see you guys responding to this one going forward, and how do you fill in with Charlie's loss?
Well, they're talking about that right now as we speak, and it's just like the other day when Soler came in and was scratched from the lineup, 2 hours before the game, and I just told Alex, it's like, don't worry, these guys are going to keep going. They're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep battling. We've been through this many times this year, losing key components to our club. Really key components, and we're going to continue to. It's not going to be an excuse or anything else. We're going to go out and continue to try and win games.
We'll go Dave and then Ron.
Brian, 2 things. When exactly did he get that X-ray?
I'm sorry?
When exactly did he get the X-ray?
They do it during the game.
But it was.
There's nothing to show. That X-ray that when he went back out didn't show anything.
And then he got another one?
Well, he got one after he came out of the game and felt hurt. But, they looked at him prior to him going out to start the next inning, and everything was good.
And can you give any indication of what you might do to replace him?
No, I can't.
We'll go to Ron here in the first row.
Could you think many of the pitchers go out and throw 16 pitches on a broken leg and get 3
Well,
outs?
I
Or
don't
is it
know that.
something about
I don't.
Charlie?
I'm not a doctor or all that, but I don't know that it was broken when he did that. I mean, it was stressed, but he felt okay, and I think a lot of athletes have done that. I saw a kid foul a ball off his foot one time when we were playing the Mets, and it took a while, but he went back in the box, hit a homer, and his leg or foot fractured round in the bases. So I don't know that that's all that uncommon in these kind of injuries with baseball, football, whatever players.
So it could have been when he went out for the third?
I mean, it just might have been something that he did then that was going to happen anyway at some point in time, yeah.
All right, we'll take the last question. Oh, we're good. I think Michael Brantley's here. Brian, thanks so much.
I'm sorry?
I think we're good.
Oh.
Yeah, so it sounds like Charlie Morton's ankle was stressed, and on that pitch, sounds like something went awry for him. And that's the only downer tonight for the Braves in Game 1. No downers on Braves Live Postseason Edition. Follow us after each and every game on Valley Sports South. We will stream it live for you on Valley Sports app as well. Atlanta takes Game 1 of the World Series 6-2. Soler hit a home run. Adam Duvall hit his second home run of this postseason. Deep into the seats in left in Houston, and the Braves frolicked to a 6-2 win. Braves Live is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Truist, BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist. Eddie Rosario did it all. 2 more hits, a great assist to nail Gurriel at second base. That thwarted Astros Riley, and the crowd at the Battery was loud and proud tonight. Atlanta wins Game 1 of the World Series. 22 years to the day.
How good's that sound?
Last World Series appearance. That came against, of course, the New York Yankees. Brian Jordan, Peter Moylan, Nick Green, Chip Carey. Let's get to the highlights of the Braves 6-2 win tonight. It's a great matchup. 2 men with Braves ties. Brian Snitker, 44 years in the organization. Dusty Baker, drafted by the Braves, and things went Atlanta's way early and often, Nick.
Is this how we drew this thing up? I mean, Soler had been on the COVID list, then he comes back, has some good at-bats against LA, and he in the leadoff spot, BJ, goes deep, got himself into a really good count. I talked about that kind of ad nauseum with him and Framber Valdez, but a 2-0 count, he could cheat a little bit. He jumps on a fastball, 382 feet, BJ, hit absolute bullet to left field. Freddie Freeman came up next, grounded out, a great play by Altuve. Ozzie Albies an infield single, stolen base, and how about Austin Riley? 3-0 count. Yes, he hit 200 in the LCS. He struggled a little bit, but he felt good in that situation, and he doubles home. Ozzie Albies made it 2-0.
Move on to the top of the second. Runners on second and third again for Soler. This time he grounds into a fielder's choice. Somehow, I didn't like this base running too much, but we scored a run, and right now I would trade outs for runs. So Soler gets another RBI there. He's second of the game.
Yeah, it was great to see a 3-0 lead there, and Adam Duvall after Rosario double. Oh my, you don't throw that changeup in on Adam Duvall. He hits a bullet. He goes yah. I mean, that was just tattooed out in left field. Man, guys love hitting in Houston, I can tell you that right now. But how about Rosario getting it started? I used to love taking batting practice in Houston.
Do you like to hit there in the game? Just batting practice?
Just batting practice.
How about the 8th inning? Freddie Freeman, ball, they bring in Brooks Raley. They ball out over the plate. Slider gets enough of it to get Dansby Swanson in. Not a great throw by Kyle Tucker out in right.
Great
Ron
slide.
Washington gets it done again, fellas.
Great slide,
Pushing
Dansby.
the right button.
Unbelievable slide.
I love the fact that they added on to that inning, too.
Yes.
I felt like the 5-0 or 5-1 lead wasn't enough, but they made it 6-1 at that time.
Bottom 9, in stuffs Will Smith, gets Brantley to ground out to Ozzie, bobbles it for a second, throws him out, and the Braves win it 6-2 and take a 1-0 lead in the series. We snap an 8-game losing streak in said World Series. How good does that sound, Chip?
It sounds fantastic. Academy Sports and Outdoor Game Summary. 1 down, 3 more to get. A great performance by A.J. Minter in relief. The Braves with 12 hits. Again, can't say this enough. This is an Astros team that's tough to strike out. The Braves pitching staff struck these guys out 11 times in a 9-inning game. You keep that up, you've got a chance to keep them under control. And Atlanta did that at Minute Maid Park tonight with 2 runs, 8 hits. That was all for the Astros in Game 1 of this World Series. So let's start to turn our attention and move things forward just a bit. We know Charlie Morton is not going to be pitching for the Braves again this season. You know you have Max Fried pitching tomorrow. Ian Anderson, in all likelihood, Game 3 back in Atlanta. After that, what do you do now in Games 4 and 5 should it get to that many games?
Well, we know Game 4 is going to be a bullpen day. That's what it's been the entire postseason. So you know that's what you're going to get there. I don't know who's going to start. Jesse Chavez has done a really good job this year in that opener role, and he could do that, but you're expecting 3 outs from him, probably not more than that. Then people have to start filling that role. The thing here is Ian Anderson's got to give you length in Game 3 so that bullpen is rested, and then Game 4 is definitely a bullpen day. I don't know where they're going to go in Game 5, but they do have some options. As AJ Minter showed today, he could probably get you 3 innings right now.
But what's different is the minor league season's over.
Yes.
They don't have guys pitching in competitive games. They may have guys throwing or pitching in sides, but how do you get guys that are in World Series form when the Braves might need the most, Peter?
Well, there's a difference between throwing in sim games and obviously then coming into a World Series game. But the guys, the option that they have Kyle Wright that's already on this roster. Some guys may not know that. Kyle Wright had a great game in the playoffs last year against the Dodgers, so he's been there before. There's Tukey, there's Tucker, there's options down there. So that's going to be the big questions. And I think it's now, Snit's going to have to earn his money now. It's not just going to be, not that he wasn't before, but I'm saying he's now going to have to manage his way through Game 4 and 5. And every move then becomes critical because that one bad decision or that one guy comes in and he hasn't got it, costs you a game, may cost you a series. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Snit does because he's been doing it all year.
Go ahead, Nick. I know they talked about Luke Jackson and how important it was to get him back in, but he got 5 outs today. So now he's proven if his confidence is back, he can get you more than just 1 inning. So I think that's important as well. Other guys might have to give you more than 3 outs. Matzik did it again today. So I think that's kind of where this bullpen's going to head because you have to take care of them because you know you're going to have to use them a ton.
And the off days help too. With the off days in the middle, as long as we don't get rained out, we lose an off day, I think we still have the advantage pitching-wise.
Well, first of all, it's going to be very important who we bring on this roster to take Charlie Morton's spot. You got, like you said, Tukey, Tucker down there that are possibilities. But Kyle Wright, who's been in this position last year, pitched great at the end of the season. I mean, he's a guy that you really look at hard for that number 4 game because we're looking for length. We're not looking for a guy that's just going to throw 1 inning. We need guys that go 3 innings to start that ball game, 4 innings possibly. So you got Tukey as an option. We've seen Tukey when he first comes up. He really pitches well. So do you bank on that, him coming in and getting that start for Game 4? The options are there. They need length. But Chavez is a great opener option.
Well, I'm sure Brian Snitker's office is very busy with Alex Anthopoulos and his staff trying to figure out what the Braves will do to replace Charlie Morton. And one other man the Braves are going to lean on very heavily now going forward is their catcher, Travis d'Arnaud. He's the guy that's got to find out who has stuff and what to go to in critical situations. He did that all night tonight again for Atlanta, and he's at the podium with tonight's winning pitcher, AJ Minter.
Hey, AJ. Bittersweet, obviously. Charlie going down, just how and then how it affected you. Expected a pitch, but just not in that 3rd inning of the World Series.
Yeah, it hurts losing Charlie. I mean, what he's been to this team all year. I mean, everyone knows Charlie. His career's he's a hero in the postseason. So it's definitely a blow losing him Game 1. But if you've been watching us all year, I mean, we've just been answering the bell and overcoming adversity all year. So we're just going to treat it the same way. Next guy up and. Yeah, coming in, I guess 3rd inning. I mean, I just knew I was trying to cover as many, innings as I possibly could. Wasn't just trying to be efficient, trying to overthink it. It's nice having Travis behind the plate. I mean, I completely trust him with all my heart. There's very seldom where I shake him off, and if I do shake him off, it's usually designed. So it's just great first game.
Standing to your right, guys.
Following that up, obviously you guys have overcome so much already this year. Are you just resigned to the fact that things might just keep happening and you're just going to have to keep overcoming things?
Who's that to, sorry? Oh, yeah. I mean, like you said, we've overcome every adversity that's come our way. I mean, I don't know how good that English was, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's tough losing Charlie. I mean, the the person he is in the clubhouse, the mentor he is in the clubhouse, especially at this time of the year, is very valuable. And for us to lose him in Game 1 it's a dagger. But he's still going to be there with us, cheering us on, and still trying to teach us everything that he's learned along his path and his career. So it's just a little speed bump, but I believe that all of us are going to just stay together, stay tight, and just keep loving each other.
On your right, guys, David.
Hey, either of you guys, how inspiring or how gutty was that for Charlie to go back out there, get 3 outs after he got hit by that line drive, to go out and strike Altuve out in the next inning? And also, AJ, I wanted to ask you, that's 3 multi-inning performances for you in the last week. Do you still have a lot left in the tank?
Yeah, for sure. With Charlie just finishing that inning and going back out and facing a hitter, he struck a guy on a broken leg. It's pretty remarkable. I wish it wouldn't have happened to Charlie. He's a leader. But like I said, we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves, and we just have to keep going. And I've been joking around with the guys all year long. I feel like, just turn me in a starter. I'm ready to go. But no, like I said earlier, I wanted to go out there and just be efficient as I could and help this bullpen out as best I possibly can.
Far back on your right.
Hey guys, for either of you, the performance of Luke Jackson, of course, last game, a little struggle there, but able to come back here and really pitch well in a big spot.
Oh yeah, that was huge. That was huge for Luke. That was huge for our bullpen. I think it was on MLB Network, his numbers versus the Dodgers this year. I think that's the team that just had his number. You're gonna go through a whole season, and one team's just gonna have your number no matter what you do. You're gonna try to mix up pitches, try to throw different pitches, maybe mix in a knuckleball, and they'll still have your number. So for Jax to come out, that's big for him mentally, and that's huge for our bullpen knowing that he's still there.
Yeah, Luke's been one of the best relievers in baseball, if not the best reliever in baseball all season long. And for him to go out there and even the first outing against the Dodgers he executed every single pitch he wanted to. Just bad luck. And he's bounced back like we know he would, and we're going to need him moving forward.
Mark on your left, guys.
Here you are 2 months later. Are you guys still marvel at the value that Alex was able to get at the trade deadline? You look at everything that happened tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Those moves just showed everybody in that clubhouse that he still believed in us. Even when we were 4 games under 500, he didn't care. He showed us and he showed the world that he still believed in us, and I think it lit a fire under us. And to lead the game off, one of the guys he got had a World Series home run to put us up 1-0 in Game 1. So it's pretty incredible.
I'll stay there with Jesse.
This is a question for both of you. Just your thoughts on how the bullpen has performed up to this point, and then the challenges that you face going forward, workload-wise.
Bullpen, we're feeling confident. I feel like it took us a while to get going. Definitely, I feel like we struggled, including myself, the first half of the season. I got sent down in AAA. But I feel like we came together at the right time, and we're clicking on all cylinders, and we're feeling very confident right now in the bullpen.
Every single person in that bullpen has a huge heart, has huge fight. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but they all got big nuts too. And there's nothing more you want as a catcher is to know that everybody loves each other and everybody picks each other up and they're not afraid of anyone. I think going forward, I think we're going to be just fine. We've had these bullpen games during the year. I think the days off after tomorrow is going to be very beneficial, whereas last year it was 7 days in a row when we did go through a little bullpen game in Game 3, so it kind of ate us up a little different. But it's an honor working with these guys. They all fight, they all work hard every day, and they're all ready to throw every day.
Go with Tyler in the second row.
Travis, did you see any noticeable change in Charlie after he got hit, by Gurriel or during that inning? I know you came up in the top of that inning, but did you think he was, going to be on a short, he might have to come out of the game early after that?
When the inning was over, we meet, talk about what was going on. He said, "Ooh, that one got me good," and then he was kind of walking a little funny. I didn't think it was broken. I just, thought he took a line drive off of his leg, but to go out there and strike out the next guy with a broken leg. It blows my mind. Blows my mind.
I think it blows everybody's mind. Shades of Bob Gibson. 2022 A-list memberships are on sale now. The fun is just beginning. The future and the present very exciting for all Braves fans all across Braves country to be a part of what's happening here at the Battery and Truist Park. Go to Braves.com and become an A-list member today. Back with more after a break. Braves became the first team in World Series history to score in each of the first 3 innings of Game 1 of the Fall Classic. They rolled to a 6-2 win tonight in Game 1 down at Minute Maid Park. So Atlanta with a 1-game-0 series lead. They turn the ball over to Max Fried, who looks to come back from a disappointing outing last time out against the Dodgers. Mac, though, has been overall excellent this postseason for the Braves. He will face Jose Urquidy, a fly ball pitcher, not Garcia, but Urquidy, Nick Green, in Game 2 of the World Series.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. He was 2 weeks in between outings. Last time out, 1 2/3, not a good outing at all. He's a guy that relies on command, didn't have it last time out. So we'll see what happens. You see the opponents absolutely crushed him.
Let's turn it over to a professional pitcher for more on tomorrow night starters. Paul Bird is with Kelly Kroll down in Houston, Texas. Birdie?
Braves win Game 1 in Houston in a very hostile crowd with the roof closed, a lot of noise, and the secret is out. The Braves are good going into this game. 2 at home for the Houston Astros, and the Braves really wanted to take one of them, according to Alex Anthopoulos. If you can take 2, that's fantastic. So Max Fried gets the ball tomorrow with a chance to do just that. What are his thoughts on facing the Astros?
Obviously, this is what you dream about as a kid. From the time that I started playing, you dream about playing in the World Series. But at the end of the day, you have to know what got you here, and I got a lot of really good guys that are going to be able to be there and support me and got my back. So just focus on executing pitches and really just trying to tap into what got us here. Just playing our game.
There you have it, Max Fried. He's always right here, even in the World Series. Let's see if he can bounce back from that last start against the Dodgers. A little bit of a hiccup, but he is the best pitcher in baseball in the second half. Cannot wait to see him take the hill. And with Charlie Morton breaking his leg tonight, it becomes important now that both he and Anderson would go longer in games to save some of those arms if possible in that bullpen. It is the World Series, all hands on deck, but the fresher you can keep those arms, the better chances you have to walk away a winner.
Thank you, Birdie. Looking good down in Houston, Texas, as are the Braves. So let's talk a little more about Max Fried. I like what Travis d'Arnaud said about Max against the Dodgers. They just had his number. They had 7 hits in an inning and 2/3 at one point in his last start. You don't expect that from Max against Houston tomorrow night, do you?
Well, I'm expecting a better Max for sure, but what I want to see, I felt like the moment got a little bit too big at times, and maybe the Dodgers offense put that pressure on him. He sped up the delivery, so I want to see him slow that down a little bit. BJ, when he's slow, he's concise with the delivery. He knows where that release point is. He's on point. That's when he's at his best. Hopefully that's him tomorrow.
I just think going to L.A., I think being around his family, he left over 60 tickets. I think he put too much pressure on himself. He wasn't as aggressive as I'm used to seeing. He attacks with that fastball in on hitters. He did not do that. So I expect him to be aggressive against these Houston hitters. He knows these guys like to swing, put the ball in play. They don't strike out much, although we got him tonight. So you got to be aggressive. He needs to return to my man, Maximus Fried.
I think the one thing we got going for us is that 2 starts ago he was okay but not great. The last start he was not good, obviously. But then you look at how many times has Max been bad 2 games in a row? So I think he's going to look at the tape. He's going to look at what he did. There's been experts on Twitter as well as people that I'm sure in the video rooms breaking down his mechanics and seeing what went wrong in the last couple of starts with his fastball location. And I think he's going to have it down pat tomorrow for a good 6 or 7 innings.
And Urquidy, a tough customer, as you said, Peter, a guy with a really big slider for the Astros. The Braves haven't seen him before, so we'll see what gives in Game 2. A little more pressure on the Astros. They don't want to come to Atlanta down 2-0. The Braves wouldn't mind to extend the Astros slide as Dansby Swanson brought home a big insurance run for Atlanta in their 6-2 World Series winning Game 1 tonight. Every team's goal is to win the last game they play in a championship season. The Braves have a chance. They go 1-0 in the 2021 World Series. They win it 6-2 at Minute Maid Park. Let's send it back down to Kelly Kroll and Paul Bird once again for their final thoughts as the Braves get set for Game 2 tomorrow night.
Well, Chip, gentlemen, thank you so much. And to all you at home who are still up late with us, we really appreciate it. Paul Bird, Kelly Kroll here in Houston. We're going to wrap things up. And I know you guys have talked a lot about Charlie Morton. But, Birdie, I think you should weigh in on what this means for not only the teammates who I know are brokenhearted, we heard from them after the game, but also for Brian Snitker moving forward because they still have a series to win and they're up 1-0 right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough. Charlie broke his leg. That's not easy. His team's hurting for him right there, but they also won Game 1, and Charlie has done what he set out to do, which is come over here and help this team and be a leader, and you won Game 1 of the World Series. You can see the scar right there. He did not blow out his arm. He has a broken leg and should be ready for spring training next year, according to the Atlanta Braves. That's good news amongst all this.
How is Brian Snitker now moving forward? Manage things with the pitching staff. They are going to be able to replace Charlie on the World Series roster with another arm. But as far as the bullpen and who else you're turning to once again be that next man up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it starts with Max Fried on the mound going longer than he did last game against the Dodgers, and I cannot wait to watch him bounce back. And then you have Ian Anderson. You may go longer with those guys now, and then it's very important that Kyle Wright, who is added to this staff, can come into a game, whether win or lose, and give some depth, throw more than 1 or 2 innings. You got to have guys that can throw 5 or 6. He can do that, and then the guy you pick up, maybe a Tukey, a Mueller, somebody that can also do that, give the team some length.
Certainly would help. And then as far as Max Fried goes, I listened to him this afternoon, and this is a guy who, there's no doubt about it, is still ticked off with what happened in Los Angeles. I got the feeling he's going to come out here tomorrow in Houston and just do his best, like you said, not only give them length, but straight shove against this team that has been talked about. Again, I brought it up with Adam Duvall, their potent offense, and I thought the Braves tonight showed just how potent their offense can be as well. But for Max Fried, he's never faced Houston, postseason 3.86 ERA in his career. What will be the key to his success against what you saw here tonight?
Short memory. He's going to need to forget about his last outing, which all good pitchers can do. He is certainly a good pitcher, best ERA-wise, in the second half, and just return to that form and just execute pitch after pitch. It's the first time he has ever pitched in the World Series as well. That's going to be different, and so I think it's a matter of just breathing, calming down, and saying, hey, the mound is the same distance away. I just got to hit my spot.
Oh, boy, they took the crowd out of it fast here tonight, even though Houston kept this roof close, which would be interesting to see if there's no weather tomorrow, if they get to do the same thing. But either way, Birdie and I, we're going to go crash now, guys, because we're back at it bright and early tomorrow morning. Of course, for all your exclusive World Series content, keep checking in at Braves on Bally, and, of course, Bally Sports South. We'll have it all there, Birdie.
Yes.
Great stuff.
Ready
guys,
to go.
Back to you.
Will Adam Duvall hit a train? We have to see.
Okay, Paul, thank you very much. 6-2 the final score. Not much what we can add to what they said about Max Fried. What I think is important is for many of these Braves, their first World Series appearance, you wonder if the moment was too big for them. It wasn't for many. Not Soler's first appearance, and he showed you a little experience in that very first at-bat tonight.
I just love the way they came out strong with good at-bats. Early in the game, they put the runs on the board. Yeah, Brian Snitker said it in his press conference. I'd like to have that 5-run lead later in the game, so it felt a little bit better. But they were able to hold that lead, so props to the bullpen. They did a great job of picking up Charlie Morton, and the offense did their job as well.
Yeah, props to the whole team. This is exactly how you want to start your first World Series since '99. Get off to a great hot start, score 5 runs early, put another one on late, and have the bullpen hold it. We are set up beautifully for the next couple of games.
Before the game, we talked about Valdez, and you was like how nasty he was.
Yeah.
You know what? He started out the game throwing those nasty sinkers, but the patience of our hitters got them in hitters' counts. And boy, did they make Valdez pay. Yeah. I hope we can start the game off tomorrow the exact same way. Be patient early, put the pressure on those pitchers, and then take advantage.
Well, one thing we know about this Braves team, as I said, they know how to overcome odds, they know how to overcome injury, and they know how to defy expectations.
Yeah.
They were not favored in this World Series. I don't know if they were even favored tonight, but they won the game 6-2, and that's all that matters to take a 1-0 World Series lead over the Astros. So, off we go with Game 2 coming your way tomorrow night. We will be with you for Braves Live Postseason Edition. Kelly and Paul will join us from Houston. Nick Green, Peter Moylan, Brian Jordan will join me out on the stage here at the Battery Atlanta. Hope you'll join us. It'll be a great watch party tomorrow night. And hopefully, the Braves will come home up 2-0. Braves offense in high gear, 12 hits, 6 runs, 2 long homers. Atlanta back in the World Series for the first time since 1999. They're 1/4 of the way toward the 4 wins they need to claim their second Atlanta World Championship. For our entire crew, I'm Chip Carey. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back in Atlanta tomorrow night.